Hola. This lesson is over present tense conjugations of regular AR verbs for capítulo 2, for chapter 2. Hay tres tipos de verbos. There are three types of verbs in Spanish. You have AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. Hay verbos que terminan en AR. So AR verbs will end in AR. So you have bailar, hablar, cantar, and all of the verbs that you have been presented with in capítulo 2, in chapter 2, are AR verbs. You also have verbs that end in ER, beber, vender, leer, and also verbs that end in IR, vivir and escribir. And verbos ER e IR you will learn more about in capítulo 3. So this chapter we're just focusing on these verbos AR. Now, when a verb ends in AR, ER, IR, so this word, bailar, hablar, cantar, vender, etc., it's called un infinitivo. So you need to know this term, infinitive, and basically it means that the verb ends in AR, ER, IR. And un infinitivo translates to something. So if a verb ends in AR, ER, IR, its translation is always to dance, to speak, to sing, to sell, to read, and so on. So an infinitive ends in AR, ER, IR, and it translates to whatever the verb is. Hay dos partes de un verbo. There's the stem, la raíz, and the ending, la terminación. So for example, you have hablar, the stem, la raíz is habl, and then your ending would be ar. Subject pronouns. Now, a subject is who the sentence is about, and then a pronoun is like a generic term. So it's a smaller word that we can use. So for example, instead of Maria, what's a generic word that we could use? Maria speaks Spanish. Instead of Maria speaks Spanish, we could say she speaks Spanish. And so she would be a subject pronoun. Okay, so you need to know what these subject pronouns mean, and you need to know the order that they go. So basically you need to memorize this chart plus know the translation. So yo means I, tú means you, él, he, ella, she, usted, you. So there's two yous. One is informal and familiar, and the other is formal and polite. Nosotros, we. Vosotros, you plural. So it could translate to you all, or in Texas we would say y'all. Vosotros is only used in Spain. So in other parts of the Spanish-speaking world, they will not use vosotros. Instead, they will use ustedes. So vosotros and ustedes both mean you all. And then ellos and ellas mean they. Ellos would be masculine they, and ellas would be feminine they. And if it's a group of males and females, they, then it would be the masculine form, ellos. So yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, ustedes, ellos, ellas. So para formar el presente, you're going to take off the AR ending and put the ending that goes with the subject pronoun. So each subject pronoun has its own ending. So for yo, the ending is always going to be, let me go through the subject pronouns. For yo, the ending will always be o. For tú, your ending will be as. For usted, él, ella, the ending is a. And this is also an ending that you would use for any singular noun. So if you say la clase or el perro or mi amigo, it's always, whatever kind of singular noun you have, it's always going to be this classification. So it'll end in a. Nosotros, amos, vosotros, ais. With vosotros, I always present it, but because it's only used in Spain, you don't have to memorize it. And then for ustedes, ellos, ellas, your ending is an. Por ejemplo, we have hablar, take off the AR and put on our endings. So we have yo hablo, I speak, tú hablas, you speak, usted, él, ella habla, we speak, nosotros hablamos, vosotros habláis, ustedes, ellos, ellas hablan. Here's another example, estudiar. Estudio, estudias, usted, él, ella estudia, nosotros estudiamos, vosotros estudiáis, ustedes, ellos, ellas estudian. Tomar, to take. Tomo, yo tomo, tú tomas, usted, él, ella toma, nosotros tomamos, vosotros tomáis, ustedes, ellos, ellas toman. Pero, ¿qué es el presente? What is it? What does it mean? How do we define it? Present tense means actions are happening now in the present tense. And so the present tense can be expressed in 3 different ways in English. So, for example, we have this sentence, yo estudio español, which can translate to I study, I do study, or I am studying Spanish. So you have a simple statement, or I do study would be for emphasis, and I am studying would be the action is in progress. So estudio, any kind of verb conjugation in the present tense can be translated these 3 ways. I study, I do study, I am studying. So that's important when you're thinking about translating, because we can't translate word for word. If we look up the word for I, and then we look up the word for do, and then we look up the word for study, we're going to have extra words in here when all we really need is estudio. The same for this, am studying. If you look up these words individually, you're going to get something different than that. So you really need to focus on how things are expressed in one language to the other, not necessarily a direct translation word for word. That's not going to work. You have a big long list of verbos AR in capítulo 2, and these are just some of them. So you have necesitar, cantar, desear, pagar, mirar, escuchar, visitar, trabajar, regresar, comprar. All of those are AR verbs that you can practice with. So, ¿cuáles son las formas de practicar? Cantar, ayudar, trabajar, imaginar. So, ¿cuál es la forma correcta de hablar for mi amigo y yo? So, mi amigo y yo, my friend and I. Another way to say that would be we. So that's the nosotros form. So we would have hablamos. El estudiante, the student, he, so habla. Trabajar, mi padre. My dad works. So he works, trabaja. Unos amigos, some friends. They work, trabajan, ellos. Bailar, Elena y Jose. So Elena and Jose would be they dance, bailan. Laura y yo. So anytime our subject is something y yo, we're including ourselves. So that's first person. So that would be the nosotros form. So someone y yo is always the nosotros form. Bailamos. Buscar, to look for. Vosotros look for. Y'all look for. Buscáis. Ustedes buscan. Comprar, mis amigos. My friends buy. They buy. Compran. Ramón y usted. Ramón and you. Y'all buy. So that would be ustedes. Compran. So anytime it's y usted, it'll be the ustedes form. Cantar, to sing. La clase sings. The class sings. It sings. Remember, any singular noun is going to be the he, she, usted, the él, ella, usted form. So it'd be canta. Los estudiantes, the students sing, they sing, ellos cantan. Tocar. Tocar means to play a musical instrument. Los profesores de inglés tocan. Usted toca. ¿Cómo se dice en español? Okay, you might want to pause the video for a second and work on translating these sentences. Then when you're ready for the answers, push play. So I listen in class. Yo escucho en clase. She's buying a book. Ella compra un libro. They, and I'm talking about girls, need some pens. Ellas necesitan unos bolígrafos. We work a lot in history class. Nosotros trabajamos mucho en la clase de historia. You, and I want you to use the tú form, are looking for a backpack. Tú buscas una mochila. You all are studying in the library today. Ustedes estudian en la biblioteca hoy. Okay, here's some more. Go ahead and pause the video and write out your translations and then push play when you're ready for the answers. He speaks Spanish in class. Él habla español en clase. Do you play the piano? ¿Tocas el piano? So notice that do you play is just one word, tocas. If you want to put the you in there, the tú, it would go after tocas. ¿Tocas tú el piano? Elena works a lot. Elena trabaja mucho. I'm taking math this semester. Yo tomo matemáticas este semestre. And notice that the I'm taking is just your one word conjugation, tomo. We are studying lesson 4. Nosotros estudiamos la lección 4. They dance on Sundays. Ellos bailan los domingos. En fin, terminamos. So that's the end. There's lots of practice activities in your textbook and online. If you have any questions, be sure to send me an email. Adios.